hope, pure things, and rhymes and strings. It's the Power of God's Love podcast, episode 1018. Hey there, Tony here. I sure hope the past week was better for you than, gourmet pizza. And I'm not talking about just any gourmet pizza. I'm talking about the kind you can eat as much of as you want and never gain an ounce or ever have indigestion. I hope your week was better than that. And here's what I shared in the Truth Journal from the past week while you were stuffing your face with all that pizza. Page 1. All the good things that real hope brings. All the good things that real hope brings. When you stand right up next to a tree of doubt, it can be virtually impossible to see the forest of all the good things. And that's why you gotta have hope, with a capital P in the middle. And all the good things include joy and peace, by the way. Now, I don't, by any stretch of the imagination, mean worldwide joy and peace, because, well, obviously that ain't happening right now. Yeah, I'm sure you have personal troubles. I know I do. But you and I, we know the power of God's love, and we have hope. Hope of a joy-filled and peaceful future. We have that hope because of the power of the Holy Spirit. For example, those personal troubles I just mentioned, for me, they include waking up daily and often during the night too, to struggling to breathe. That's what I wake up to. Then I have to get vertical as fast as I can to help my head and lungs clear so that I can function like the semi-normal human being I've always been. Plus, these days I walk a little bit weird and I tire out with only a little effort. I can go into more details about my daily physical struggles to stay alive, but this ain't about all that. Nope. I want you to know that every day I get up with joy and peace in my being because I have hope. Hope for the future when I'll be totally renewed by God, emotionally, physically, and even spiritually. And so I can see, and I hope you can too, all the good things in the middle. When you're really in the middle and you're feeling like a riddle and you start to get a little bit down, take your eyes off all your troubles, let them float away like bubbles. When they pop, then I bet you can't frown. When you think your life is rotten, all the good things have been gotten, and the world's taken much more than it gives, start to laugh and start to winking. You can stop that stinking thinking. That's the way that a happy kid lives. Yeah, your face might get all flappy when you walk around so happy, but your life is gonna mean a lot more. Now go be a sparkling fountain or a bright light on a mountain, because your Maker's got a lot in store. Hope that helps you have your hope for the day. And on to page 2. All things are pure to the pure. And that's for sure. Yeah, all things are pure, to the pure at least. And my schoolboy days are a good example of what I'm talking about. I'm sure I'm not the only one who was this way, but mine is the only story I know about, so it's the only one I can talk about, okay? Yeah, I got to talk about me a little bit. I didn't go around thinking all things are pure to the pure. I didn't do that. I was just naive. And I didn't know what I didn't know when I got into public school, also known as government indoctrination camps, by the way. For example, I was totally unaware so many kids walked around with a potty mouth. Kids! But it became blatantly obvious by the time I was in junior high. And I didn't realize, up until about the age of 12, how much kids talked about sexual things. It wasn't like I didn't know that stuff existed. I just didn't know everybody was going to be talking about it. And that included boys talking to girls and girls talking to boys. It's crazy. It wasn't just conversation among the guys, like you might think. Maybe you wouldn't think that. I don't know. I did. These days, the situation is way worse. I'll bet if you even said all things are pure to the pure in just about any typical American social environment, eyes would roll and listeners would just about unanimously tell you how silly you are to say such a thing. But guess what? It's a biblical thing to say. In fact, the Apostle Paul, you might recall him as the apostle to the Gentiles, right? He wrote a letter to a man named Titus and said that very thing. To the pure, all things are pure. But he didn't stop there. He also described the opposite of pure people. He described them like this: but to those who are defiled and unbelieving, Nothing is pure, but even their mind and conscience are defiled. And to defile something, by the way, according to the dictionary, means to sully or mar or spoil it. Yeah, just plain make it dirty. I wish it didn't have to happen to anybody, but especially not young kids, because when you consider how pure they are when they're born and how adorable they are because of it, it's a crying shame that ever has to end. Oh yeah, I realize it's an exercise in futility to wish for purity in this world. And that's probably why, all those years ago, I wrote about my yearning for the pure place.
I clamor for the clean life and never quite succeed. I'm hunting for the high ground, higher than the sky. I'm looking for the love life, the kind that we all need. I'm wishing for the wonder that lives in my mind's eye. I want to find a pure place. I need to find a pure place. Never wanna go. I'd love to find a pure place. Let the light shine on my face. No dreams I'd ever have to chase. No bad that we could not erase. I'd love to find the pure place.
Yeah, the pure place, and I still quest for the quintessence of my forever friend, Jesus. Page 3. Stringed instruments and my rhyming sentiments. Of course, stringed instruments can't make sounds on their own. You know that, right? I know that. Every instrument needs a player, a musician, someone who knows music and how to transmit it from the instrument into the air. It's a beautiful thing when you think about it. A violin can be one of the most beautiful stringed instruments, physically and musically. Someone shared a picture of the inside of a violin a few years ago, and they added a note to the picture that said, "The inside of a violin looks like a music hall." And you know what? I looked at the picture and it actually does kind of look like a music hall. All made out of wood, but it looks like that. The only things missing are the audience and the orchestra. But if you could walk around inside the violin anatomy, you could easily get the impression you're in a music hall with wooden walls and natural lighting. It's very cool. I hope you get to see that picture. You go to my website, you can find it, TonyFunderburk.com. Now, all this talk about the inside of stringed instruments reminds me of how the musician could make no sounds without the maker of musicians. Because when you get right down to it, there's no sound or music without the creator of sound and music. But here's the thing. God does exist, and he can be found, figuratively, not literally, even inside the inner workings of a violin. Because God puts the skills into the musician, who then puts his heart and soul into bringing the music out of the instrument. And if you're just willing to open the eyes of your understanding, maybe you can see why this matters. I hope so. I caught a glimpse of that understanding in this rhyme, the violin. Maple and spruce and ebony make their way to the symphony, and intestinal fortitude, from overture to interlude, exude from deep within the space beneath a pensive focused face. A Pernambuco arrow glides, and firmly wound white horse hair slides across fine-tuned Perazzi strings. Divine inspired, a high voice sings, revealing heaven from within the soul inside the violin. Okay, I hope you got something out of this time. And thanks for tuning in. As always, you know there's still a bunch of downloadable books over there in the bookshop at TonyFunderburk.com. Right now, you can just go to TonyFunderburk.com/books and you'll see those. Soon, pretty much everything I sell will be on a single page called the Ton of Fun Shop. Get it there? Tony Funderburk, Ton of Fun. Okay. So you should get the inclination as soon as you can because, you know, Christmas is getting mighty close. Thank goodness most of the stuff is digital download, so you can really order it at the last minute and get it. All right. I appreciate your tuning in. As always, this is Tony signing off from TonyFunderburk.com and the Power of God's Love podcast. And let's go out there this week and share with the world the power of God's love.